We are at the residence of one of the presidential candidates, Robert Chagulanyi, who is contesting on the National Unity Platform flag. This is his residence. It has been under surveillance by police ever since the campaigns ended.
Look at the drones in the space. This is at Bobi Wine's house. Drones in space. They're telling reporters you cannot access Bobi Wine. I wonder why. So the police and the military are in position to decide who talks to Bobi Wine and not.
And above his residence, there has been surveillance since he came back from the campaign trail.
But number two is that his home is not a gazetted place of detention. If he has committed any crime, there is a due process. He can be arrested, arraigned in court, and dealt with in accordance with the law.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the nation is once again confronted with a bitter reality. The 2026 election has been stolen, just like those that we saw before. As we speak, Bobi Wine is still placed under house arrest. Many people have been killed and others disappeared. That's what we're going to be looking at just in a few minutes from now. The chairman or the chairperson of the Uganda Electoral Commission cannot even explain where these results are coming from. He's been announcing preliminary results or provisional results. He cannot explain where these results are coming from. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But do not lose hope. I think I should record while I'm putting these words right here so that you know that this is just getting started. Do not. We must accept the finite disappointment, but never lose the infinite hope. Things are not done yet. We continue fighting. Let me show you. Bobi Wine is placed under house arrest. I think it was NTV that went and was showing us what's going on there. I've got a video here. All right, let's look at this video. Okay.
3 minutes.
It's okay.
If you have not disappeared from here, I will move you by force.
It's okay.
3.
It's okay. We are at the residence of one of the presidential candidates, Robert Chagulanyi, who is contesting on the National Unity Platform flag. This is his residence. It has been under surveillance by police ever since the campaigns ended. That was on the 13th of January. We have been informed that we must leave this place. That is the order that we have gotten from police, and indeed we must vacate as they have ordered us to go, and they are saying we cannot access him today, and so we have to leave.
Look at the drones in the space. This is at Bobi Wine's house. Drones in space. They're telling reporters you cannot access Bobi Wine. I wonder why. So the police and the military are in position to decide who talks to Bobi Wine and not.
And above his residence, there has been surveillance since he came back from the campaign trail, where there is a drone that flies above his residence, and you can see it's quite a formidable force around here. It is to deter him from leaving his residence just in case he wants to do so. And we have also been told that we cannot access him today, and thus we should go back, meaning he's not supposed to be receiving visitors at his residence. We are going to abide by their orders. We've been given 3 minutes to leave this very place, and you can see also here on this side the police have already blocked the route to his residence, meaning no more vehicles allowed to pass for the moment, and it's not clear when they will be allowing people to get here. But this is likely to happen until the Electoral Commission chairperson announces the winner of the recently concluded presidential elections. Back to you in the studio. The situation, as you've seen, is quite tense in Magere.
I mean, it's really, that's why it usually gives me a lot of hard time. When I was in journalism, practicing journalism on radio and TV, how do I convince myself that I have to be on air and try to balance the story? If you have a political candidate who has been placed under house arrest, you're not allowed to even talk to him. How do you balance that story? Many of his polling agents have been arrested, others disappeared, others have been killed. How do you come and try to balance the story? Please make sure you're not biased. How am I not supposed to be biased against those kind of acts? The lawlessness, the impunity. Did you hear what that gentleman was telling him, the police officer? I'm giving you 3 minutes. If you don't use 3 minutes, I'll have to push you away by force. That's threatening violence to a reporter. Then how does he go back to studio and be like, okay, I want to be balanced in this? Jeez, ladies and gentlemen, then let's go on and listen to the Electoral Commission boss, Simon Byabakama, who cannot explain he's going to try to explain to us where all these results are coming from. He cannot explain. Listen here. He admits we send these results in ways we cannot explain. The Electoral Commission boss is saying, I do not know how we send these results. Like he admits, sichitegera, which means I don't know, I don't understand how we do this.
Well, he
says the same way we used it in 2021 elections is the same way. That doesn't explain how these results are being transported or where they're coming from, you know.
Could districts a result teziva police stations buterevu neziretebwa wano on National Tally Center. This could districts presiding or returning officer nagata ebyakafunako n'alyoka biweereza ku National Tally Center. Kati simanyi abemulugunya okwemulugunya kusinziira ku ki.
Bebuuza polling stations zineno ziva mu districts ki.
What districts are these results? The polling stations of these results, tell us.
Oh, okay.
And he's stammering now. He cannot tell us what polling stations.
He's
stammering, ladies and gentlemen. He cannot explain. Oh, I'm from talking to those guys in the system. The question is, where are these results coming from? Tell us the polling stations, what districts. He cannot tell us. I think by the time we announce the next whatever, I will explain. He's not told us. By the time, when we announce, the next time we announce the provisional results, there'll be a little bit of a change. Really? He cannot explain. The election has been rigged. These people have no shame. Have no shame whatsoever. And I'll go on and read you what Bobi Wine had to write on his Facebook right here. He says, this is 50 almost 1 hour ago. And at last evening, they attacked our... Oh, I think I have to go back here. He says, ignore the fake results being announced by Byabakama. He can't tell anybody where those results are coming from. Our agents at the Tally Center are asking him for sources of these results, and the regime enabler can't say a thing. The people of Uganda will have the final say on this nonsense. Just like, and Bobi Wine is not just speculating. I've just played you a video where he cannot explain where these results, the sources of these results, tell us what district and what polling stations. And then earlier today he posted and said, the world needs to know what is happening in Uganda on election day. Internet switched off, massive ballot stuffing reported everywhere. Our leaders, including Deputy President for Western Uganda, was arrested. Many of our polling agents and supervisors abducted, and others chased off polling stations. BVVK machines, the biometric machines that are being used to conduct the voting, have failed everywhere. The people of Uganda must rise to the occasion. That's what he was talking about. Then he goes on to give us what happened last night at his place. Meanwhile, yesterday, after casting my ballot, the military deployed all around my home in order to place me under house arrest. These criminals even jumped over the fence and entered our compound. My house is still besieged. No one is allowed to come in or go out. This ends strength. They do this out of fear for the people they have offended by committing so many atrocities against them. They do this because they are afraid of the people's reaction after stealing the vote. Free Uganda now. Then he goes on to tell us about what happened in Butambala. And last evening, they attacked our deputy president for Buganda, Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, and killed 10 of our supporters who were at his home. This after they abducted our deputy president, Western Region, and attacked our deputy president, Northern Region. The criminal regime in its evening has gone insane, and this insanity will have to be met with resistance. He's calling on Ugandans to non-violently resist the lawlessness and the impunity of the Museveni criminal regime. I'll go on and tell you, I'll play you a video where the treasurer of the National Unity Platform of Bobi Wine was explaining how Bobi Wine has been placed under house arrest. But not only that, he goes on to explain how nobody can explain where all these results are coming from.
Why they invite us here is to ensure that transparency, which is one of the key tenets of a free and fair election, is achieved.
Exactly.
But when you invite us here and you say in 10,000 polling stations, these are the scores, we don't know whether these polling stations exist in reality, whether they are from Karamoja, whether they are from Ankole, whether they are from Uganda, or where. So we are not able to even ask questions or verify because we don't know the scores that is presenting, where they come from. So it defeats the purpose of having an arrangement of this nature, unless of course it is only organized as a facade to tick a box that, you know, we had the National Tally Center, candidates were represented, the observers were in attendance, the media was in attendance, but when actually there's no iota of transparency involved.
Thank you.
Police.
Can I also repeat it?
Is under military siege.
Bobi Wine is under military siege.
His home was surrounded by the army and police last evening. He's not able to interact with his agents. But number two is that his home is not a gazetted place of detention. If he has committed any crime, there is a due process. He can be arrested, arraigned in court, and dealt with in accordance with the law. But because he has not committed any crime, and the institutions of the state are unfortunately being dragged into partisan politics on the side of the incumbent, they now must find ways of undermining his ability to do what is within his right as a candidate or as a citizen of this country.
Exactly. Need I say more regarding what he said? Absolutely not. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we see. Earlier today, this guy, the chairperson of the Uganda Electoral Commission, none other than Simon Byabakama, announced these provisional results that placed Museveni in the lead with 76.25%. This is a complete lie. Nobody believes this. And then placed Bobi Wine in the second position with 19.85%. All these are complete and utter lies. Nobody's buying all these. And I know Ugandans are going to rise up and demand for what is rightfully theirs. But of what importance is wasting taxpayers' money only to make sure that you keep a dictator in power. I do not understand what happens to the minds of men as a collective, that they would abandon the aspirations of a country only to serve the interests of one man. A man who has presided over the death of a nation since he came to power. Now, I'll be a little kind to him. There was a semblance of good time for the first few years, like 4 years when he came to power, because Ugandans had entrusted him. They had joined him in a war, supported him, hoping that things were going to be better. So they were hopeful in the first few years he was in power. And that is in 1986 to 1990 and probably early 1990s. And from 1996, the first time he deployed violence against a political candidate who had won the election in the 1980, that's when things went south. Since then, now you have his four-time challenger, Dr. Kizza Besigye, in prison. He was abducted from Kenya and is being kept in prison. And you have Bobi Wine, the second contender and his second-time challenger, placed under house arrest. Internet accessibility is shut down. People are being disappeared, abducted, others have been killed. But again, they want you convinced that this was a free, fair, and transparent election. It defies logic. It defies reason. I don't understand. I am speechless on how these people convince themselves on a daily basis that this is the right path of our country. Is this the right path in your mind? They've convinced themselves that this is the right path, that we can actually kill people, abduct them, disappear, waste over 800 billion shillings to organize a facade of an election and go back to where we were, or even worse, before that election. Right from the word go, what we witnessed was a system that is rigged against Bobi Wine. Security agencies targeting his campaign. The silence from the Electoral Commission. And what we see is the logical conclusion. Again, I'm going to have people asking that you knew all this would happen. Why did you go into this? Because we believe that things can change at any given time. Because we believe that we do not have to quit. When Bobi Wine was being derailed, sabotaged, coerced, all they wanted him to do was to give up. Abducting many of his supporters and his bodyguards, beating up his people, beating him. All they wanted him to do was to give up. But he kept going. And while we may be disappointed by what we see and what we hear from the chairperson of the Electoral Commission today, we are hopeful of what's going to happen tomorrow. We are hopeful. Martin Luther King again reminds us that the arc of moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Change takes a long time, but it eventually happens. And we've got to try. Pinochet in Chile was fought for years. Mobutu Sese Seko, 4 years. Muammar Gaddafi, 4 years. Yahya Jammeh in the Gambia was fought for so many years. Idi Amin too, and the rest. The Francisco Franco of this world. The Benito Mussolini. The Adolf Hitler. All of these were fought for years, but they eventually fell. The Museveni regime will come to a crumbling end. We have to keep resisting.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.